Hi everyone, this is Dr. Brandon Schamp from Algoma University. I'm going to give a quick lesson on how to check whether a collection of data are statistically normal using SPSS, and then hopefully give an example later on about how to run an analysis on that. Alright, so the first thing when you open SPSS is you get this menu here, and what you want to do is type in data. You'll notice that I have Excel open as well, and that's usually the source of where my data comes from. All right. Now when you get to SPSS, it'll open this view, and you can see there are two different views, the data view and the variable view. I'm going to click on data view, and then I'm going to go back to Excel and collect my data by highlighting it. You'll notice I didn't highlight the titles, the data titles. We enter those slightly differently here. Alright, so now I'm going to click on variable view. My first variable, I'm going to type in genus underscore species. We can't use spaces in this designation. And then max age, just for short form. Gymnosperm underscore angiosperm. And then finally, mean underscore wood underscore density. Okay, now I'm going to go over to measure here, and some of these you'll recognize the measure for genus species is nominal, and that's because it's written. Maximum age should be a scale measure. So should now gymnosperm basically is a placeholder. It's numeric, but we're going to call it ordinal. And we'll say scale for this one as well. I'll return to data view, and you can see that the headings have been applied. So now what I'm interested in doing, eventually we're going to test whether any of these variables are predictors, well in particular these ones, are significant predictors of maximum age of these species. But in order to do that, we're going to use a linear model. And those linear models tend to assume that your dependent variable approximates a normal distribution. So we're going to examine whether it does. And to do that, you can go to Analysis, select Descriptive Statistics, and Explore. And that opens up this. Now we're going to choose which one we're interested in. Maximum age is the one we're interested in. We'll click on Statistics over at the right. Descriptive statistics is what we want, so we'll click Continue. Under plots, this is where we'll have to do something a little bit different. We're going to select normality plots with tests, so there's some statistical tests about that give you some information about how well your data approximate a normal distribution. So I'll click Continue, and down below it should say both statistics and plots selected, and I'll select OK. Now I happen to know that these data aren't normal. Not surprisingly to you, I did this beforehand. So the tests of normality, if I scroll down in the pop-up menu here, gives you two tests, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. The significance value is 0.000, as well as it's also significant for the Shapiro-Wilk test. Now the significance doesn't indicate that there's a strong sort of approximation of the normal distribution. It's quite the opposite. In fact, it means that the data are not normal. So this gives us some information. It also allows us to take a look at a variety of plots of the data that give you some semblance of how the data are not normal. So for example, if the data fit this line particularly well, they would approximate a normal distribution well. So I can close this now, and I can transform the data for this dependent variable. So should I save these contents? No. So I'm going to do a quick transformation up under Transform, Compute Variable. So I'm going to call this log mean density. So I happen to know that the log of mean density gives you, or excuse me, not mean density, but maximum age, gives you an approximately normal distribution. So over here I can go to arithmetic, log base 10, I'm going to select that by double-clicking, and then you can see up here that I can choose what I want. I'm going to select maximum age and bring it over. So the new expression or transformation that I'm going to produce is basically the log of max age. Once I'm done that, it'll execute it in this separate window, and it's done. And I don't have to save that contents. And you can see that the mean, or the log of max age comes up in a new column. Now I can then go back to descriptive statistics and explore whether the changed data are now approximating a normal distribution. Let's double check and make sure, okay. And we'll say okay. If I go down to the tests, you can see that now at the 0.05 level, or at the alpha level of 0.05, which is a commonly used alpha level for biological studies, these are now not significantly deviant from normal. So they're approximating a normal distribution, at least acceptably given that alpha value. So from there we can go on and use our linear model to test our particular predictions.